Everyone, welcome to another episode of Invicta Specs with John the Phone Guy. Today we have the Subaqua in Graffiti, model 32103. This is a 50 millimeter watch. The movement is a Ronda Z60 or Z60. This is a flame fusion crystal. Full dive rated 50 atmosphere, 500 meters, 1660 feet. And with that, we will just jump right into this guy. So this is one of the newer iterations of what we as the collectors have dubbed the Graffiti. There have been hydroplated versions of other stuff before, but generally when you see the graphic sort of street art looking pieces, that's generally what we've always just labeled. The first one was obviously the Bolt Zeus that was done in it, but anyway, so on to our normal scissor deployment class with the dive keeper, and of course we'll get the case back in real quick, like so. There you have it. So this is the Subaqua. I'm having trouble with my light here, I apologize. There we go. And the reason being, so we'll kind of jump a little bit here. So the case lug bracelet system is from the Subaqua Noma 3 collection. The bezel, which is unidirectional, and I know there's a few people out there that really enjoy that. So make sure I did it right. Yep, there we go. So you have the Subaqua Noma 4 denoted by the 4 rider tabs here on the bezel. The Subaqua Noma 5, which is this system where the function pushers actually rise up out of the case, and that's how you are able to utilize the function. And then this is from the Subaqua Noma 6, which, as you can see as we unscrew this, it's like a two-piece system, and you see these little bars right here that are sliding out, and you start to see the red. So that's how you can pop it out. And then you grab this outer edge, and then you change the date, pull it all the way out, change time. Okay, and this is kind of just your neutral. And then you'll push this in and tighten this back down. And that is the Subaqua Noma 6 on the crown. Of course, you got your function pusher for your chronograph. So that's your chronograph second hand. You have your 30-minute timer here. This is your constant running seconds, and then you have your day of the week and the date right there. And then stop, and then this is your reset. So we just kind of go into, this is much better. This is the Ronda Z60, obviously, and this is a Swiss movement. And you can see on the rehaut right here, you have your 5-minute increments on your markers around there. And for those that, I keep saying this word, but maybe I'm not explaining it well. So if you see where the 5, the 10, and the 15, it's like a little ring system that has just a little bit of a bevel, but basically it's the piece of the watch that goes from the dial face up towards the crystal. That's called the rehaut. I've also heard it referred to as the inner chapter ring. So it just depends on what circle you're in, as far as what they call it. I think rehaut's kind of cool, so I just kind of borrowed that from Invicta Ryan. So thank you, Ryan. I'll set these back down. So course, you've got the Subaqua dragon at the end of your chronograph second hand right there, which is always a cool detail. And obviously, what we really all come to enjoy on these is the detailing on here. And as I've said in other videos, always start sizing from this pin here and then work your way up, and you can kind of see all the different designs in it, wraps all around, and then obviously can't really tell because I use the micro adjuster for me, but you can tell obviously this doesn't match because there was another pattern here, but in general it's usually at the very bottom. Most people won't notice it, and then you've got, you know, your side of the case over here, your screws for your lugs and all of that. And so flame fusion crystal, I know I've talked about it in the past, but we'll just kind of go into it briefly. Basically, crystals are made in a lab. The composition of the materials used is what defines what type of crystal. Generally in the industry, there's two. There's mineral, also known as mineral glass crystal, and then there's sapphire. Mineral glass obviously has properties more in line with glass, but not in the strictest sense of like a window in your house or something. It's a composition that has some toughness and some give to it, so it's a slightly softer crystal, which means it can be susceptible to scratching, but impact wise it holds up to being hit. Sapphire, which is a much harder surface, very hard, is very scratch resistant, has a very good clarity because of its hardness and clarity, but it can crack because it's just so hard. So what Invicta came up with was a process where they utilize both chemical processes in a way to enhance their patented flame fusion crystal, which has properties of scratch resistance but also properties of impact resistance in one crystal. So that's kind of where that nomenclature came from. So there we have it right there. And I just realized there, because there's a 55. Anyway, and of course you can see there's some knurling on the side right here. Just a really unique watch. I have this same design in the blue label. I love that watch as well. I think it's a unique blend, like I say, of all of the Subaqua Nomas from 3 to 6. Obviously the 1 and 2 is not represented, and the newest 7 is not represented here, but just a unique timepiece in and of itself. And with that, I've been rambling and haven't been doing my job here, so we'll throw this on. So I get 50 right here, and we get 18 on the height. The lug system at the screws is 32. Bracelet on this guy is 26. The thickness on these links, I'll go in this middle section, so it's a 5. And then we'll measure your lug space, which call it 52. Also we have the scale, so an 11 ounce, much lighter than many, but obviously heavier than others. So, but for me, it's kind of in that sweet spot between, I don't know, 10 and 12, maybe even 13. It's not bad. I mean, are you going to notice it? Yeah, it's an 11 ounce watch. And as you can see, the lug system, how it helps with the taper. Of course, I mean, it's not a true, but generally you get a sense of how it will accommodate a larger wrist. I have a little bit less than a 7-inch wrist, so you can kind of get a perspective from there. So that's it on my 7-inch wrist, and that is the Subaqua in Graffiti model 32103. And with that, I want to give a shout out to Instagram, Smitten by Invicta, Women's Fashion, and Invicta Watches. Of course, YouTube, Trap Vision 3D, and Tommy Big Time, great source of information around Invicta. Facebook friends, Invictaholics, Invictacruisers, InvictaVets. We do the vast majority of our watch buying on Shop HQ and Invicta stores. And as always, if you enjoy this video or any others, please subscribe and hit the bell. And I apologize, I was a little bit late last week getting videos out after getting back from the cruise. Just wasn't quite getting ready, and of course the whole coronavirus kind of got things a little crazy at work, but you know, it is what it is. And on that note, I hope everyone is safe and healthy from that, and that too, this too shall pass, and we will be all right. With that, enjoy your Invicta watches, and I hope to see you next time on Invicta Specs. Take care.